got a choice. You either eat or you go to timeout. You either eat your lunch or you go in timeout.
It is Super Nanny Saturday, and this week we are watching the DeMello Family. So let's grab our beverages and dive in.
It wasn't long before I saw Mum put discipline into practice. I didn't like what I saw, and I didn't like how Damon was talking to his mother.
Damon, don't turn it on.
Stupid Mama.
We can play it later. When we have time to play it, we'll play it later.
I hate you.
Well, then now you're not going to play at all.
Yeah.
You won't play later and you won't play. Get off of me, Damon.
This child is spiraling, and so many would say, "Oh, I can't believe he talks to his mom that way." Even Jo Frost says that. And of course, I completely agree. It's not okay in any way, shape, or form. But this caregiver needs to take a lot more ownership. Let me break that down. First of all, why are the video games just sitting there? When is the time to play video games? When do we not play video games? Did he leave an activity he was supposed to be doing to play the video games? So many question marks. And then a very specific word that she said when she was wrapping up those video games. She goes, maybe we'll play later if. Imagine being on the receiving end of a message like that. Maybe you'll get a date night soon. Maybe you'll get a break with your friends. Maybe you'll get some sleep tonight. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel secure. When we give our children the gift of predictability and routine, we build trust.
Not only was Mum's so-called discipline ineffective, but I really couldn't believe how she was tolerating the way her son was speaking to her, calling her stupid mama. I mean, when did that become acceptable? He's whipping her. Oh my God, we've got Indiana Jones here.
I didn't whip her.
Yes, you did.
This is exactly what happens in a negative environment. I want you to think of dominoes for a minute. You know, when you line them up and you put them really close to each other, and then you just tip that first domino, it knocks down all the rest of the dominoes. But if you space out the dominoes too much, when one falls down, it doesn't hit the next one, and so the line doesn't keep going. The dominoes are going to represent our consequences for our children. The space in between is connection. If we do a consequence and a consequence and a consequence and a consequence and a consequence, that is a negative environment. They are just tipping each other all down, sending him into this playroom, and then he gets another consequence. It's just gonna be a horrible day. You know those days when you're just like, it's just one thing after another. How do we exit that system? It's through connection. So maybe that's sitting down and playing with your child, or going outside where they're less likely to do those undesired behaviors. It's giving your child an opportunity to be successful. So putting them in an environment that's really challenging, that's just going to make another domino pop up, another consequence, and the line is going to go down.
I think one of the reasons why the children are bouncing off the walls is because they're just kept inside all the time. Is this all your backyard?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, should I call that or what? Did they just talk about going outside? Yes.
We don't play outside a lot. It's just that we're stuck in the house a lot.
Stuck in the house.
So it seems like a lot of aggression goes on because they don't get out enough.
No, they don't like it.
They love to be out.
I'm a bit lost. Hold on, they like going out,
They love going out.
but they're stuck inside.
Yeah.
I don't get that. That's
It's just so tough with three of them running in all directions. My husband wasn't out there. I couldn't finagle three running in all directions. So a lot of times, you know, we always stayed in the house.
I hear you, Mom, and I say, is there a way to set up the environment to mitigate some of that? It makes me think of last week's episode. You know, when they took the ribbon around the trees and they tied them at the camping site to show, okay, these are the boundaries. And then on top of that, have clear expectations before you go outside. What can we do? What can't we do? So you're out there, you've gone over all of your expectations, and somebody's getting a little too far. Oh, I see that you passed that red ribbon. It's important for me to keep you safe. If you can't keep yourself safe, then I will help you. And then you just have that child sit down. Maybe you give them one warning, right? Be clear. Everybody gets a little warning. And, because sometimes they do things without thinking and they just pass it. Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry. Oh, remember, we got to stay safe. And then next thing you know, you're getting out of the house and the kids are listening because they know we can only go outside if we follow these expectations.
I mean, they've all got cabin fever. They stick in the house 24/7. None of them go out.
15 minutes, Mum.
So I decided to take the kids outside just to see how chaotic it can be.
Mommy.
What, honey? Why don't you go play? Wanna play in the swings? Go play, honey.
When they got outside, they didn't know what to do, and Mum stood around and they stood around.
They don't actually come out, do they, into a park or an open field or a...
No.
Jo Frost says, we have been in this house for 6 hours. Let's get outside. And as soon as they get outside, they're all like, I don't know what to do. And it's kind of awkward. Like, what are we doing? They probably go out so infrequently that they don't even remember. And so it makes me think of, for us, a good jumping off point is when we go somewhere new. Let's say we go to the beach for the first time with our kids, or we go on an airplane for the first time, or we go to this jumping place for the first time. It is an opportunity to create good habits. What I mean by this is if you go to the beach and you have no expectations and your kids just start going crazy all over the place, running around, not listening to you, you have now created this memory that they are going to repeat. So every time you go to the beach, it's going to be a challenge. Every time you go to the jumping place, it's going to be a challenge because that's what they remember. And then they build these habits and these associations of, oh, when I go to this playground, I run away from mommy. This is what I do here. And so when you're going to somewhere new, really taking the time in that car ride to talk about the expectations of what's going to happen so that it's so set in stone that when you open the door and they get out and we do the thing, it's like, oh, this is just what we do.
Why did Daddy put you in the chair?
Dada.
What does shut up mean, Dante?
Dada.
Dad had Dante on the chair, then he was having a conversation with him.
Put your foot off the table.
Don't put your feet on the table, put them down.
Why do you say that all the time, Dante? You want to tell Daddy why you say that?
He kept trying to reason and go over and over.
Get back in that chair.
Dad is home, and unfortunately it is just more ambiguity, blurry lines. What's happening, Dad? You put him in timeout. Then he's in timeout and you're talking to him. Then timeout ends, but Jo Frost is like, when did timeout end? Then he's starting to misbehave again. If you as the adult don't know where the lines are, then your child can't follow your leadership.
This is what I made. I'm not making a second meal. Come on, Damon, eat what I made.
And then I couldn't believe what I heard. Damon decided to tell Mum what to do with the first meal after she'd made the second one.
This is cold.
That's not funny,
I
really.
feel like
It's
a
just-
warm. David. What?
Mum's looking at me like, huh, can you believe this kid? And I'm looking at her like, huh, can I believe you're doing this?
Go, Joe, go. Go, Joe, go. Yes, exactly what she said at the end. Stop blaming the child. Children will do what you allow them to do. So let's talk about this food situation. Every family is going to be different. We've talked about it here on Mommy Breakdown. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Kristen. I'm an educator and mom of two myself, and we use Supernanny as a jumping off point to discuss discipline. So welcome to the community. Hit the subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. We've talked about food. It's a complicating, touchy subject. Some families are like, listen, I make my kids whatever they want to eat. And I honestly don't have a problem with that when it comes to discipline. That is just your own personal choice. What I do have a problem with is this flippity flop. She looks at her child in the eyes and she goes, I'm not making anything else. I made this and this is what we're eating. Cue 3 minutes later. You know that like SpongeBob thing? 5 minutes later or whatever it is. Sometimes as parents, we just need to be realistic about what we can handle in that moment and what we can't. And if you know going into dinner that you are just done, you're just done, then just from jump, make them the meal that you know they're going to eat. Don't do both. Just pick Pick and stick. Pick and stick. That's what we're saying. Pick and stick.
Hi.
Hi.
Sure.
So let's get straight down to business. You chose to have these kids, to raise them.
I thought it was going to be easy. I thought they were going to be well behaved. You get married, you have kids, and everything's
Who
grand.
told you that?
Nobody.
Just the way I grew up, fairy tale, and I had no idea it was going to be so much work.
This is so frustrating. The way that she says, I just thought I was gonna, have good kids. What do you think, that they just come out that way? And it makes me think of when people come up to me and they go, oh, it's so nice that you and your husband, you've been together for over 20 years. You're so lucky. I hate that word. You're so lucky. Same thing with my children. Oh, they're so kind and well-behaved. You're so lucky. No, I am not lucky. I earned this and I worked hard. Just like you wouldn't go to somebody who just got their degree in something and go, oh, you're so lucky you got that diploma. Right? That sounds ridiculous. You wouldn't say that to somebody because they put in the effort. When it comes to our children, it's kind of like a deck of cards. Our whole lives are kind of like you get dealt your hand. You don't get to decide what home you grow up in. You don't get to decide who your parents are. And then the same thing when you have a child. You don't get to decide what temperament your child is, whether they're neurodivergent or not. So I get it. You may have been dealt a hard hand, but it's your hand to play. And then you get to decide what you're going to do with those cards. And you have so much more power than you give yourself credit for. And to me, this just feels like a victim mentality, and it just feels icky.
You didn't want to do anything with your kids, and they see that.
It's not true.
It is.
I don't agree with that.
There is no effort there.
I love my kids, and I get on the floor, I color with them, I play with them.
You know what? Seriously?
I'm more of the activity person. I'm very creative as far as coloring and arts and crafts.
Where was it yesterday? Where was it when I was observing you? Where was it?
Yesterday was one day.
No, where was it?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, because you're sitting here getting emotional.
That was an interesting meeting because Mom did push back quite a bit, saying that she is the creative person and you only saw one day. And I mean, it is a highly edited show. We can only see so much, but at least at the end, there was that emotion from Dad and even the emotion from Mom of like, you know what, we can do better. Whether or not she wants to be defensive over what she's been doing or not, like, who even cares? Let's just move forward and let's get to work.
Hello. Hello. The first thing I do want to do is to go in and help Diane and Don create a routine that's going to help put a lot of stability in the children's daily lives. So talk, write down your cornerstones. So why are you writing talk?
I know it. So write down. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I got confused.
Like, right? No, we don't want to write talk, Diane. We don't want to write talk. We want to talk.
That would drive me absolutely bananas. I know it was a mistake on Dad's part. I get it, but you would have to. Where are my type A people at? You would have to get a new background. I don't know. We'd have to fix that somehow. I couldn't.
She'll actually realise that she can have fun with them and actually enjoy being out. They were well behaved. There was no fighting.
That's a big pickle.
So far, she's doing a fabulous job. I hope that this has really encouraged Mum to get out of the house more so that she grows that confidence daily and the kids start to enjoy themselves more, and so does Mum.
Hi, I turned on the light. You can see me. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Right now, I live in Florida, so 1 minute it could be sunny. You hear that thunder? And then the next minute it's like dark and cloudy and raining, and then it'll like an hour from now it'll be over. So we're back. You can see me. Hi. Anyway, what I wanted to say about this situation is it looks like they're at some kind of children's museum. So it's great because they got out that energy and then they sat down to eat, and then they got out more energy afterwards. If you're going to a family member's house or a friend's house and you know that they're not going to have a lot of availability for your child to get out their energy, you might want to structure it so that before you get to their house, you go to the playground or you do something that's going to get out that energy.
No, Gianna, don't throw food. No.
Later on, Dad was back from work and Gianna was kicking off. And as these parents both know how to do discipline, I thought it'd be a good idea if Dad did it.
You eat your food, or you're gonna go in timeout. You got a choice. You either eat or you go to timeout. You either eat your lunch or you go in timeout.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to skip this next part because I just can't bear to watch another child being forced to eat, and if they don't eat, they go to timeout. It doesn't make any sense. You put a child in timeout, that doesn't make them eat. One does not equal the other. But what you can do is you're all sitting down, the child chooses not to eat. You remind them, hey, check in with your belly, because if it's hungry, right now it's 4 o'clock, or I guess 5 o'clock, maybe it's dinner time, it's 5 o'clock. We don't have a snack again until 7. That's 2 hours. That's a long time for your belly to wait until a snack. So just make sure that your belly, you check in with your body, and then you wrap that baby up, you put it in the refrigerator, so when 5 minutes pass and your child goes, I'm hungry, I want a snack, you go, remember what we talked about? We're not eating a snack until 7 o'clock. And that's why we check in with our belly. Now, if your belly's hungry, I'm totally okay taking the food out again. I don't want to do this that often, but we'll do that until you get used to eating at certain times. I know that it's like so amazing to eat so many different foods. Notice how I give all this empathy. I totally get it. I want to eat cookies all day. I wish I could just live in a bag of chips, right? But there's certain foods that have certain nutrients for our growing bodies, and this is our food. So if your belly's hungry, it's here. You just let me know.
You're just going home now. Take care. Make me kiss.
Ignorance, I guess, is bliss, but there wasn't much bliss in my house, I'll tell you. Joe helped us with a lot of things.
Care of you, huh?
I know the kids are going to be a lot happier. They're going to see the change in their mom and dad, and it's going to make for a happier family.
For the record, we did not see a scene of that child eating food after the timeout technique. And the rest of the episode was more with the timeout technique and then a really cute activity with mom and dad. They were carving an ice block to get to their little picture at the bottom. I don't show the whole episode. I do not own the episode. The link is in the description if you want to see the whole thing. But let's see where they are now. This aired in 2009. Damon is now 22, Dante is 20, and Gianna is 18. So it doesn't look like they had any kids after the episode, and they're all adults now. Many fans believe Diane to have been suffering from depression during the episode. They've notably cited the parents' meeting as evidence, as despite Diane saying that she and Donald love the kids, she is seen shaking her head. Well, the research between body language and what somebody actually is feeling, there's not enough research to really connect the two. Let's start with Damon's Facebook page. Looks like he's into cars, got a very 22-year-old picture, very cool. What else do we see? Very fashionable. He's way cooler than I am. Look at that. Good for him. Next one is going to be Dante. Actually, let's do Damon's Instagram next and see if there's some more photos of him. Damon is the oldest one. This one, the page isn't available, so that's gone. Now let's go to Dante's Instagram. Dante is the middle child. Totally different vibe. Look at this. Totally different vibe. Love both of them. But yes, we see him there just like a chill, no post. Let's see if he had a Twitter. Oh, he had a YouTube channel? Let's see that. Let's see. What you got, Dante? What's on your YouTube channel? Oh, yeah. Not a ton of views, but I mean, I'm a little tiny channel as well. I'm not here to judge. Has some playlists, but those are other videos. These are his videos, and they were 6 and 7 years ago, so definitely not active right now. And the final child we have is Gianna, who is 18. Gianna has mostly like little selfies, filters with the little butterflies. This is from 2020. So these are just the public photos. We can't really see too much. I wonder who this is. What does this say? Huh? Are those, she's too old to be in that photo. I don't know what that one is. Oh, are these like pictures that she's sharing of when she was a child? Oh, that's really cute, because that really says somebody when they're sharing pictures of them as a child. Like, it's good memories, right? And we have her Instagram, but it does say private. Let's see if it's still private. So it's not private anymore. We do have quite a few photos. Man, all three of these kids are just like a vibe. They're so cool. I love the neon and the partying and the fun. I mean, she is 18, so that's it for the DeMello family. If you have a family that you want to watch with me, let me know in the comments below and I'll add it to the wheel. I'll see you next time.